Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is my first video. A lot of people are asking me how do I do like my go-to going out look, so I figured I would just film it. It's kind of just like a gold and brownish black smoky eye, so I'm just gonna go through every step of how I do it, and I hope you guys enjoy. I started it. Okay, so I'm gonna start by filling in my eyebrows. Do I say what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is so weird. Okay, so I'm gonna start by filling in my eyebrows. I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in the color Taupe. I just like barely fill them in. I do like the tail, like all the sparse areas, and then darken the tail. I don't really like touch the top part because it makes me kind of look mean and manly. But yeah, that's literally it, honestly. I got my eyebrows done the other day and they cut my tail off on this end, so this might need more work. Okay, that's really all I do. And then I'm just going to use the same Anastasia, but the brow gel. This is a mess. And just brush over them, lay down. It lays down every single hair. Like sometimes I just use this with like no product on it. It just like makes it look way more put together.
I didn't know you got the brow gel.
Yeah, I did. You didn't know that?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm keeping that in there. I hope you know. Okay. Now to prime my lids, I'm just gonna take my concealer, put it on the back of my hand, and use that as a primer because it literally does the same thing in my cheap ass. And then I'm just gonna like carve that out just to sharpen it, even though like I barely filled it in, because it just makes it look more like put together, you know? And then just color it in. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm just gonna take my sponge and then go into my setting powder and just set that in place. Just so the shadows on top of it have like a smooth kind of base to go over. Like you don't want to just like put shadows on like straight concealer. You want them to go over a smooth powder. And it will help creasing in your eyelids if you have that problem. Okay, now I'm gonna start with the eyes. I'm gonna go in with the Jaclyn Hill palette. It's amazing. And first I'm gonna take a fluffy brush like this, like any one you have. I'm gonna go in with these two shades. These are called transition shades. And what they do is you lay them down in your crease and it just helps any shadow that you're gonna put on top of it or all over your lid, whatever, just blend out more seamlessly. So, just gonna mix the two together, tap off the excess, and just go in. You wanna find a shade that's like kind of similar in skin tone. It's not really, you're not gonna see it, but again, it's just gonna help blend it out. If I'm looking over here, it's because there's a mirror, by the way. What is this? Beauty mark? It's eyeshadow. All right, now I'm gonna go in with like a little more, I guess it's a little bit denser brush, and just take the bottom two shadows right underneath it. They're just a little bit darker and a little bit more warm, and I'm gonna build on top of that. So like, I do eyeshadow all based on building. I think it's easier to like start from light to dark because you can always add, but you can't take away. So I start light and I just keep building up the shades. Okay, now I'm just gonna go in with that first brush we used with no extra product and just blend over everything. Blend till you bleed. I'm keeping that in.
Oh my, that's so embarrassing.
Pray, you know? Now I'm going to use an even denser brush. This is the Mac 217. It's, I think it's a like white-haired synthetic brush. I don't know, I honestly don't know what they call it, but it's really dense. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take two darker browns, like mix these two together. I'm gonna start pressing it into the outer corner and then blending that into the crease. So now we're gonna start building the dark shades that are gonna go on the lid. Like I'm gonna start by making it a little bit darker on the outer corner and then eventually get to like a darkish brown black. Just wanna tap and then blend it into the crease. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to that second brush we used and again go over everything. Okay, now that we have that down, I'm gonna start with the lid shade. So I'm gonna take my concealer again, put it on the back of my hand, and then take a flat lid brush, is that what you call it? Yeah, just like a flat shader brush. This is the Morphe M421, and I'm gonna dip a little bit of my brush into that concealer. That's what we used in the beginning. And then just carve out my lid like 3/4 of the way, so that way when I put a gold shadow on top of it, it's gonna make it really pop. It's kind of like a cut crease, we need more concealer. There we go. Okay, and then I'm gonna wipe off the rest of my brush and just blend that out a little bit. It's okay if it's messy because we're gonna put a darker shade on the outer corner, but you just want this to be laid where you want the color. Okay, then before I put the color on there, I'm gonna go back in with the blending brush and just cover up what I don't want, where I don't want the gold to go, because the concealer is also like a guide for me. So I'm just gonna smooth it out a little bit. Yeah, so when you open your eye, wherever the concealer is where you want the gold to show. Now I'm gonna go in with the lid shade, and I'm gonna use, I just should use that gold that's in the palette. So I'm gonna use the gold that's in the palette. I don't have the names on this one. It's right here. So I'm gonna take that on my brush, that same brush I used for the concealer, I just rubbed it off. And then I'm gonna take my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist, and I'm gonna spray that gold that I just put on the brush. That's just gonna make the shadow be more pigmented and vibrant. It gives it like a wet appearance, that's why you hence wet it. See, it just makes it pop so much more. I mean, you don't know what it looked like before, but it didn't look like this. And then I'm gonna carve exactly where that concealer was. Okay, so now I'm just gonna finish this eye before I go on to this one. So I'm gonna do the outer corner shade. I'm gonna use the M321 brush, and I'm gonna mix the darkest brown in the palette with a tiny bit of the black because it's like so pigmented and I don't want it to be too harsh, but I'm gonna mix these two shades and just tap that on the outer corner. So I'll show you. And just like a dot of the black. I'm just gonna stamp that on the outer corner and then do like really short blending motions. Okay, so that's on, but I'm just gonna, again, blend the edges. So what I like to do is just keep building the gold and the black on top of each other. So, just keep going back and forth. Okay, Now that that's laid on, I'm gonna take my makeup remover and just clean up underneath the eye. And then I like to make kind of like a wing out here, so I can like see what I'm working with now. Okay, now I wanna go back to the first brush we used, and again with no product, just blend all these edges. Okay, so now basically all I did was to deepen that black up. I took that brush again and I dipped it into the brown and the black. It's more dense, so it was, and fluffy at the top, so it was easier to work with. So I just tapped it over and then blended it back and forth with the gold again. But now I'm just gonna do that same thing on the other eye, and then I'll be back to highlight and do the face. Okay, so I did the other eye and then I popped on some lashes. I did the House of Lashes, this is just the box, but it's the style Sophia. And then I just put mascara on after just to blend them together. But now I'm gonna finish off the eyes. Well, not totally, I have to do the lower lash line, but that's after I do my face. And I'm gonna highlight, so I'm gonna use the first shade in the palette, I think it's called In Light. And I'm gonna highlight the inner corners and the top of the brow bone. You were trying to zoom in.
I totally forgot.
It's okay. Who cares? Like this just changes the whole look. Like it brings so much attention to your eye. Like makes that a focus. I know it looks kind of crazy, but it'll come together when all the makeup's done. And this just like lifts your brow. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the face. So I'm gonna start off with my Tarte Silk Canvas Primer. This just like fills in your pores and kind of blurs the skin and helps the foundation last a really long time. I'm just gonna put that where I have like some large pores and blend that in.
It really makes your skin look soft.
Right?
I'm freaking out.
Yeah. And then, because my under eyes are really dry, I'm just gonna go in with an eye cream really quick. I have no idea what it is. It was just a sample, but this will help, like, if you have dry under eyes, like the concealer go on really smooth and like not let it sink into fine lines as badly. I'm actually dripping sweat. Okay. Now I'm gonna go in with my foundation. I'm using the Hourglass Vanish stick in the shade Sand. It's gonna be way tanner than my face, but you probably can't tell, but I'm like slightly fake tanned. So this is just gonna match my body. Just do like a stripe kind of everywhere. See, it kind of matches, you can tell. And then I'm gonna go in with this dome top foundation brush. This is the Morphe M439. And just buff that in. You also want to like get your ears and your jawline so that when you're in like natural lighting or even whatever lighting, you can't see any like kind of like line of demarcation, you know, where you like, that was a bad way to explain it, right? No, it's fine. And then you want to get like in your hairline so they think this is the natural skin, you know. Get my cartilage piercing. Okay. Now that we have that, I don't like a ton of foundation because I honestly put on a lot of face makeup and it's not cute sometimes. But I'm gonna go in with that concealer I used all over the lid. This is the Tarte Shape Tape in light neutral. Yeah, neutral. So I'm just gonna put this under my eyes. And a little goes a long way, like it is so full coverage, so I don't go crazy. And then a little on the chin, down the bridge of the nose, and a little bit on the forehead. So that way the brightness on your face is evened out, so it's not just like stark white underneath. By the way, wet your beauty blender before because it just helps soak up any excess product and really like blends it in nicely. You don't want a dry sponge. It's not gonna do the job. Okay, so I forgot my like baking powder, so I'm not gonna bake in this video, but stay tuned for a new video. But I'm just gonna take this Mac Mineralize Skinfinish in Light Plus. I'm gonna dip my sponge in it and I'm gonna kind of, almost like baking it, but I'm just gonna like press that in. So I'm just setting everywhere I put that concealer. Okay, now we're gonna do bronzer. I'm not gonna contour or anything. I'm just gonna do like an all over bronzed kind of look. I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna take my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer in Radiant Bronze Light. Just looks like this. And then I'm gonna take the Morphe M530 brush and just kind of like, actually I'm gonna like contour slash bronze. I'm not gonna like sculpt anything out too much, but I'm gonna do like all the areas I would contour. So kind of like in a 3, you wanna do your forehead, your jawline, your jawline, and then your cheekbones. This bronzer is so good. And then I like to bring it down my neck so everything matches. Okay, I don't like contour my nose like too much or anything, but I like to just take, I don't dip my brush back into the bronzer, but I take any excess that's still on the brush, I pinch it together, and I just go down the sides of the nose, just to give me like a little something. And then under the lip for a more like poutier look. Okay, now that that's done, I'm just gonna take a duo fiber brush, anyone works, and just blend that all out. And you'll see me keep going back in with this brush after each step of powder. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with blush, and this is the Morphe palette in the Trio Pop of Coral. So it just looks like this. I go in with the first and the last shade. It's called Boss and Unapologetic. I'm just gonna mix the two. This is another type of duo fiber brush. It's by Mac. It's Mac 100. Put a little bit on the apples and then blend it back into the cheekbones so that it blends in with the bronzer. So just dab a little bit and then blend it back to the bronzer. Sorry if the sun's like on me. It's setting, so fuck my life. Okay, now finishing touches. I'm gonna go in with highlighter. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlight. It's like a nice gold champagne-y shade. And then I'm gonna go in with the Morphe M510 brush and just swirl it in there, really.
I'm just trying to be Jaclyn
Like, I don't know if you can see that, but it's like, can you tell?
Yeah.
It's like stunning. And then down the bridge of the nose a little bit. The top of the Cupid's bow. This also gives like a poutier look. And then I like to do it on, right above the arch of the eyebrow because it makes it like look more lifted. Okay. Then again, just blend it out a little bit. Get a little crazy. Okay, now really quickly before I finish the lower lash line, I'm gonna take that Morphe Continuous Setting Mist and I'm just gonna spray this all over the face. Shouldn't have opened my mouth. Okay, let that dry. So basically it just soaks up any excess powder that's on your skin and it makes it look like way less cakey. Now I'm just gonna go in to the lower lash line. I'm gonna use the 2 darkest shades we used on the outer corner. Blend, like mix those together. And then put it right underneath my waterline, like right on my lash line, and like press it in right there. And then we're gonna blend that out. Like it looks crazy harsh right now, but it won't look like that for long. I used to be so scared to do this step because I thought I was gonna look like a panda. But pandas are cute. Okay, and now I'm gonna go in with this pencil brush. This is, I think Mac, nope, Sigma. A Sigma E30 brush, anyone works. And then just dip into all 4 transition shades and blend out that harsh line. Okay, so once that's done, I'm just gonna retouch the inner corner a little bit.
No.
Okay, and then I'm gonna finish with a little bottom mascara. So 2 more steps, well 3. I'm gonna go in with the NYX Wonder Pencil in the shade Light, and I'm just gonna put that in my waterline. That just will like make the eyes look more awake and larger. I think it gives that appearance. My eyes are small, so I don't like to put a black eyeliner there because it just makes them closed in more. Okay, now this is totally unnecessary, but I'm gonna take the KKW Beauty Brightening Powder in the shade 1. And I'm going to take any brush, this is the MAC 159, and I feel like I just like lost some brightness underneath my eyes, so I'm just gonna take a little bit and just brighten up underneath there. Like that just made the world of difference for me. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but in person it just like livened me up. Okay, and then I'll just do that on the highest points of my face. Okay, now for lips. I'm gonna go in the KKW lip pencil. I think this is the shade 1. Yeah, nude 1. And just line my lips. You're gonna cause me a heart attack,
You
honestly.
just inched up your lips so slowly.
Okay, so after I line them, I'm crying because my friend was making me laugh, but I'm just gonna fill them in. You can't still. I'm gonna freak out. Fuck it, I can't. Okay.
No, do it.
No,
Go.
I did. Okay, and then I'm gonna go with the KKW lipstick in the shade Nude 1 again, and just tap that in the center. Should we do one more spray? I can't see, like I have blurry vision right now. Okay. I like to go over everything and just like pat it down. Okay, so this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know if you want to see more. So like, subscribe, comment some ideas, and yeah, have a good day. Bye.
See you in my next video.
See you in my next video.